1. What the f? Well, no early gamers are playing dungeon nowadays. That's why I made this video, the Skyblock Dungeon Guide. Classic gear decision. When you're trying to play dungeons for the first time, you might think, why so complicated? That's why I'm here, so don't worry and follow me. I'm gonna guide you as fast as possible. So, no more chatting and let's go. Skyblock Dungeon has 5 different classes that you can play. The Berserker, Archer, Mage, Tank, and the second option when you're too weak to play other classes. And they have all different merits. Start with the Berserker. They use sword for their main weapon. Their advantage are high movement speed, requires mid-budget, and low skill requirements. And their gears are very similar with Archer, so you can change your class to Archer pretty easily. But their disadvantages are that they can't make DPS as high as the Archer or the Mage. Next, the Archer. They use bow for their main weapon. Their advantages are definitely the highest DPS of all classes, requires mid-budget, and as I said, the Archer gears are very similar with Berserker, so you can change your class pretty easily. And their disadvantages is that the weapons takes a high skill level requirement, so if you want to play the Archer, remember that you should waste more time of your life than other classes. Third, the Mage. They use various spells for their main weapon. Their advantages are that they are good at both clearing rooms and the boss fights. And most importantly, Mage class is fun. Imagine while everyone uses the same boring sword and bows, you just like let the bullshit go! But their disadvantages are very critical. Because they're really unstable, so you're easy to die by mobs, and especially the Mage class requires a high budget because of the weapons that you should use, and most importantly, their damage makes a huge difference by magical power. So, I don't really recommend this class for the new Skyblockers unless you love Mage so much or you're a build coin gate. And the fourth and the last class, the Tank. They need to care less about weapons since they deal less than lapis zombies. They use a lot of buffed items to tank the damage that all of the party members take. Their advantages are a lot. They requires low budget, very easy to play, and most important thing is tank is crucial for the dungeon play. But most of the tank mains are extinct, so every party is gonna bow to you just because you're a tank. But there's one disadvantage that counters all of the merits that tank has. Tank is boring. They deals absolutely no damage, so you gotta break your fingers to kill a single fucking skeleton! But I really recommend this class for the new Skyblockers. And if someone asks about the 5th class, no, there's no 5th class. If you see the 5th class in your party, run immediately. Did you choose your class? Then let's go inside the dungeon. Start with the floor 1. It's easy floor, but you do need to care about the gears. I'm not gonna mention about the entrance floor since it's just a tutorial of the dungeon. For floor 1, Berserker needs rather unstable or strong, even up to superior. The more expensive, the better. The weapon should be aspect of the end or aspect of the dragon. Same way, more expensive, the better. The equipment are gonna use ender set with rift necklace, and you can use the dragon fuse glove when you use the AOTD, but it's pretty expensive, and it's really not that important in floor 1. Also, you can use pretty much any pet that increase your damage such as Enderman, Griffin, Wither Skeleton, etc. Anything might be okay. Next, the Archer. Archer has very similar gear with the Berserker, so you need unstable, strong, or superior. The weapon should be a dragon shortbow. You're gonna use this for a long time. The equipment are same with the Berserker, and yeah, you can pretty much use any pet, but I really recommend using a legendary skeleton pet. It is really cheap, but it is way better than any damage pet, better than even an ender dragon. That's unfair. Next, the Mage. The armor you should use will be Wise Dragon armor and the Bonzo staff. It only needs a floor 1 completion. I know it's pretty expensive, but it's Mage, what do you expect? But thankfully, you can use ender sets and reef necklace for equipment so your wallet can take a rest for a bit. Pet is very simple. A legendary sheep pet and you're gonna use it all the way up to the end of the dungeon. Last, the Tank. The armor set will be heavy armor or the old protector or holy dragon armor. And I highly recommend to use old armor since it can be used until floor 5. And it's super cheap compared to any other class armor set in floor 5. For pet, I highly recommend to use Epic Blue Whale pet. Legendary is quite expensive, but it still gives you a lot of health with Epic, so you don't need to rush it. The tank usually use utilities to maintain your health, such as wand healing or mending, even the Radiant Power Orb. You can use other Berserker and Archer weapons for sub-deal, but you don't really need to take that as much as dealer, because the tank deals less than a cave spiders anyways. And for every classes, you need to put a Dwarf Turtle Helmet to every pet that you're gonna use. It removes knockback from the mobs, and it's very annoying and disturbing. Except the tank, their ability already removed the knockback. And again, do not mention the healer. At the floor 2, most of the gears are same, but some of the gear is gonna change. Berserkers still use all of the gear at the floor 1, but you can change AOTE to Adapted Blade. But I really recommend to use AOTD unless you're an Iron Man. Just remember that you're gonna struggle without AOTD. For Archer, yeah, everything goes same in floor 1. Next, the Mage. Well, everything goes same, but for Mage, you have to be extra care about magical power since it gives you tons of intelligence. And the tank is pretty tricky. Get Adapted Blade for your weapon. It gives you extra defense, and also keep in mind to upgrade your Wand of Healing to Wand of Mending. And for every classes, there's very good equipment at floor 2 called Adapted Belt. You're gonna use it till the end of the dungeon, so it's really worth buying it. For floor 3, you can unlock the new armor, the Adaptive Armor. It's pretty useful armor, and it increased your stats a ton, but it appeared in the worst timing. Berserkers can change your armor to Adaptive Armor set, but isn't your Catacomb almost 12? You can dungeonize your Dragon Armor sets, and that gives you more damage than Adaptive Armor. You still can use Adaptive set if you don't have any Dragon Armor pieces, maybe you're an Iron Man. And also you can dungeonize your AOTD too. You're gonna be unstoppable with AOTD. So I recommend to buy AOTD now if you don't have it yet. If you're Iron Man, then yeah, just use Adaptive Sword. And now you might think about getting Dragon Fuse Glove. I know it's pretty expensive, but it increases your damage by a ton. And you're gonna use AOTD until the floor 5. And also, you can use Golden Professor Head. It doubles your stats, so it's definitely worth it. For Archer, yeah, just dungeonize every gears you have, use Adaptive Armor set if you don't have a Dragon Armor, get the Golden Head, and everything goes same with the floor 1. Next, the Mage. And you got two options. Change your weapon to dungeonize Frozen Size, or keep use your Bonzo Staff. Frozen Size is slightly better than Bonzo Staff, but you're gonna unlock the new OP weapon at the floor 4, so it's up to you. Also, now it's time to get a Shadow Goggles, it will increase your damage by a ton. Last, the Tank. Tank is simple, dungeonize your Dragon Armor pieces, or use Adaptive Armor if you don't have any Dragon Armors. You also can use the Mender Fedora unless you use old Dragon Armor sets. If you are, then stay stick on the full set of old armor. Floor 4 has lots of items to unlock that gives you a lot of advantage, but unlike floor 1 to 3, it's gonna be really challenging, so you gotta be prepared a lot with new gear set. For the Berserkers, same as floor 3, but floor 4 is hard, especially for taking the damage. So, you might need a Blue Whale or Baby Yeti pet as sacrifice damage for extra tank. It's fine, the Archer gonna deal the rest. And also, don't forget to use Golden Thornhead. Next, the Archer. Respect for your patience of using same damn bow. Now it's time to change into some brand new shiny bow. The Spirit Short Bow. Works same with previous bow, but way better. Honorable mention to Boomerang for its legacy. It used to make Archer OP, but they nerfed the damage to 10%. Anyways, after this, everything goes the same. Just get the Golden Head. Now it's the Mage. And let's use something more powerful and enjoyable. The Spirit Scepter. I know it's hella expensive, but once you chose Mage, then just take it. And the hardest part is now starting because of that insane fucking damage. There's two ways to prevent meltdown. First, always bring the tank in your party. I recommend this method, but you gotta find some decent tank players. By the way, it's really damn hard. Or second, use super heavy armor set. You're gonna lose tons of mana and damage, but you got tank. So I really don't recommend this unless you really wanna play the Mage. Lastly, the tank. There's another decent equipment, the Bone Necklace. It is kinda expensive, but you need to tank the deadly damage, so it should be worth it. But if you still can't take the damage, then you should use Legendary Whale Pet. I know it's expensive, but if you wanna play tank, then you need to upgrade it one day anyways. Next, the Healer. Congrats for you guys, now it's the fun part coming. There's lots of items that can make insane profits, so there's lots of grinders on this floor. Means you can get solid carry. Moving on with the Berserker. Finally, a lot of things are changing. For now, you're gonna use half Shadow Assassin's armor and Golden Livid Hat for sure, and it's time to choose weapon between Livid Dagger and Shadow Fury. Well, Shadow Fury is damn OP, but Livid Dagger is still pretty decent and works well in floor 5 though, and Shadow Fury is really expensive. So again, it's up to you. If you have a Dragon Fuse Glove, then here's a simple tip. Sell it. Next, the Archer. Same here, have Shadow Assassin armor, golden limited head. Also, keep in mind the Juju shortbow. It simply overtakes Spirit shortbow though, but it needs Enderman Slayer 5. So you don't need to rush it if you don't want it, and just keep the Spirit shortbow for now. Yeah, it's the mage time, and you have nothing to change. Just keep care about your magical power. Also, you can change your weapon to glacial size for less mana use though, but yeah, I don't think it's necessary. And since the floor 5 deals similar, or even less than floor 4, tank has nothing to change. Just keep upgrading your wand. And for every classes, there's another good equipment that unlocks at floor 5. The Shadow Assassin Cloak. It gives you extra strength and speed, and of course you're gonna use this till the end of the dungeon. Like the floor 5, you have lots of items to unlock, so it's the gears that you're gonna change. Always Berserker for start. No change for armor, but there's a major change on the weapon. If you have Shadow Fury, then you can try the floor 6, but it requires both damage and tank. So if you struggle, then you have two options. Get the Felton Reaper. It simply deals better than Shadow Fury. Or if you really have a tons of money, then you technically can purchase and use the Giant Sword. Yeah, rest in peace to your wallet. For the Archer, yeah, you need to start working to Enderman Slayer, because you're gonna need a new OP bow. It was too overpowered, so the Hypixel leaves to increase the requirement, the Juju shortbow. Yeah, you're gonna get hard time with just Spirit shortbow, but I know it needs Enderman Slayer 5, which is pure pain. So like I said, you can change your class to the Berserker though. Hey, it's overpowered. It literally makes similar DPS as Giant Sword, I'm telling you. Next, the Mage. And again, there's two choices. Keep stick on the Wise Dragon armor, or if you really can't take any damage or avoid every attack, then you can sacrifice your damage again and change your armor to Necromancer Lord armor set. And it's actually okay. I know you're not a Toho player. Also, please upgrade your Shadow Goggle to Wither Goggle. Last, the tank. And you need to start working like Archer too, because you're finally changing your old dragon armor and change it to 3/4 Necromancer Lord armor and the Reaper mask, which needs Zombie Slayer 7 to unlock, but it's really helped your tank, like almost essential. Also upgrade your wand at this time. And for the entire class, there's new equipment called Soul Weaver gloves. It's quite expensive though, but it really helps you a lot, especially in a boss fight. Congratulations for every player who reached floor 7. Now your item settings are gonna change a ton, and your stats are gonna increase a lot too. Always start with the Berserker. Change your armor to Necron's armor as soon as possible. And you can change your weapon as Giant Sword if you don't have. It will help you a lot, but for the price, it's not really necessary. So if you have enough budget, then try it. And if you really have a lot of budget, then you can consider to buy an Ender Dragon pet. It's really pricey and it gives you not much damage as a Giant Sword, but it's necessary to max out the gears. So the order to upgrade goes Necron's armor, Giant Sword, then Ender Dragon. Next for the Archer. Same as the Berserker, change your armor to Necron's armor, and well, sorry for saying this, but you might go inside hell again, because you're gonna consider getting Terminator, and it requires Enderman Slayer 7. It's hard to reach, and also the Terminator is very expensive, so even though it's definitely worth it, you don't need to rush it too hard. Also, I don't recommend buying Ender Dragon. It's not only because it's pricey, but it also gives you not that much damage as a skeleton. And also, your surviving might be pretty decent, so instead, I recommend upgrading Magical Power. So the order to upgrade goes Necron's armor, then Terminator, and Magical Power. Third comes the Mage. Finally, throw your century-old Wise armor and change it to Storm's armor. And you should also change your weapon to Max Mighted Staff. It's definitely good compared to the Spirit Scepter or Glacial Sight, but if you think it's really expensive, it's true. But compared to the final weapon upgrade, it really feels a lot cheaper. Last, the tank. Change your Necromancer armor to Goldar's armor. That's it! You can take floor 7 now. Now it's an endgame, and now it's time to make our dreams come true. We're gonna max out every upgrade that we can. Start with the Berserker. Now it's time to get the best Berserker weapon, the Valkyrie. I didn't recommend this in floor 7 because it doesn't give that much damage as its price. And also the Golden Dragon pet with 1 billion coins in your bank. It gives you the most damage of all other pets. I know it's expensive, but it's maxed out gear, so it all makes sense. Next, the Archer. And now it's time to get the highest DPS weapon of all time, the Terminator. I know the requirements are very painful and it's also very expensive, but it can't even be compared to any other bows. And once you use it, then you will realize why I glazed the Terminator so much. Also, don't forget to use the Golden Dragon. Next, the Mage. Do you remember that you were always being worse than archers and berserker at everything? Now it's time to become the best. The Full Scroll Hyperion. The best item in the entire Skyblock history. Only problem is, it's really expensive compared to any other gears. And also, if you're really gonna use Hyperion, change your Soul Weaver gloves to Gauntlet of Contagion for better explosive damage. Last, the tank. The tank needs only one item, the Australia. It gives you a good amount of defense. It's better if you add Withered Shield for better resistance. Let's talk about Reforges and Magical Powers now. Berserker should use Commando for very early game and change into either Bloody or Silky. In the end, you're gonna use Hurtful if you have enough budget to afford. For the Reforged, you can use Spicy for the sword, either Pure or Fierce for the armor in the early game. Then you can change your sword Reforged into Fabled. In the end, you're gonna use Withered for the sword and Ancient for the armor. Archers can use Commando or Omnius at the beginning though, but I recommend to use Ichi directly. It gives you a lot of attack speed, which is very important for the archer. In the end, you're gonna use Fortuitous for more crit chance with Terminator. For the Bow Reforged, you can use Unreal or Rapid at the early game, Spiritual at the middle, then turn back to Hasty or Spiritual at the end with Terminator. I won't explain the armor since it's same as Berserker. Mage have to use Sighted. There's no other option that is easier than this. You can change it to Bizarre for the late game, but it's extremely expensive, so it's up to you. For the Reforged, Heroic, from the early to the end. Armors are simple too, all necrotic and loving for the chest plate. That's literally it. For the tank, you should use either Berserker or Archer setting for the magical power, since tank magical powers are not really effective. But the Reforged is slightly different. The weapons are same with Berserker and Archer, but for the armor, you should use either Heavy or Titanic at the beginning, Giant at the middle to the end. That's everything we need for the gears, I guess. So that's the end of the guide. Thank you for watching.